All right. Hey everyone, welcome. Today we're just going to be working on a few more things for this. I guess it's boilerplate. Yeah. So we'll be working on a few last touch things here and there for it, as well as trying out a plugin that I haven't tried before. So we'll work on the search plugin. I think we may do that last, just so I can work through stuff that I already know how to do. Like the advanced SEO that I'm talking about is something that I've been trying that I haven't actually done like a real test for yet, and it's essentially like entity markup is kind of what has been talked about in SEO circles. It was a big deal when AI first came out and large language models talking about how LLMs grouped content and found content and categorized things. And so it was supposed to be the silver bullet to help you rank in LLMs, but it's debatable. We're not actually sure if it actually worked or if it was just kind of like, snake oil from SEO gurus. So regardless, we'll put it in there just because I like it. It's SEO related, tangential, adjacent. So we'll work through that, and then we'll work on the search plugin. And then I think we might try to build this. And I noticed just today, Railway launched a new, I guess not, they went to GA for their Metal, which is their own data centers essentially. So they're not working with AWS or GCP or anything like that anymore. They built their own stuff. So I was going to look into that and maybe deploy or at least store. I don't know what I'm going to do with this project. This is meant to just be cloned, but I want to make sure that it deploys. Otherwise, then what's the point of making it so it can be cloned? So we'll take a look at that at Railway for that, because if their pro plan is what I think it is, it may be cheaper than Vercel for even some of my other projects. So we'll take a look at that, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's talk about, my music's probably a little too loud, huh? Oh no, it's not. It should be fine. Let me know if the music's too loud. I can turn it down a little bit. Okay. I know how people feel about this music, but I also don't want to work in silence. Okay, so let's go ahead and do pnpm dev. And I'll go in and share what I'm thinking about doing. I can reload that. Let's take a look here. Perfect. Okay. So project loads up just fine. Good. Let's go ahead and go to our admin login, which should just auto log me in. And here in our posts, we have our future blog that we'll look at. And then in SEO, we have these about entities and entity mentions. So there's nothing in here right now, but what we can do is load this up. And what we're going to do as well is think entity lookup. I think it's this one in new window. Do I have any? I do have a key in here. Dang it. Oh, well, this is not even the right project, because I have it where it's supposed to be in a Flask project. So even if you saw that key, it wouldn't matter, because that's not even the right one. All right. Open in this window. Any keys? Does not look like it. So either way, I can run. You can't see what I'm doing yet, but I will open this in this window so we can see it together. So here I just made a little tool in Python with Flask to be able to enter in any query, and then it'll return how Google, and I think I did Wikipedia already, see it. So if I type in something like puppy, I can see the results for puppy. And so this is what I'll use to make, okay, there's no puppy in with this. I wonder if it's a nickname or something. Anyway, so we can use this same as thing. So we're gonna say that this feature blog is, well, did I say, no, this is just a description. So we'll say that this is a thing, puppy, and it's the same as this link. And so what this does in theory is it tells search engines, LLMs, whatever you want to think about it, that when you see this page, it is talking about this thing, puppy. So everything you know about puppy, assign to this page. And so we can add another same as link here for the Wikipedia results, which here I will copy and paste and hit save. And so now we have our thing puppy for our entities. And now I try to keep it to where there's only one about, so the page is about one thing, but many things can be mentioned. So if this page were really about puppies, we could do dog food, because we might mention dog food. So here I can add an entity mention, it's a thing, it's dog food, and it's the same thing as this link here. And then we'll do the same thing over here with Wikipedia. And then we now have an error. Caused by write conflict during plan execution is yielding is disabled. Please retry your opportunity. Weird. So if I exit this, it's saved. Okay, publish changes. All right, that was weird. All right, but so that's one mention. But we may also talk about leashes. Let's do dog leash just in case. Dog leash. Let's see what this comes up with. So when I clicked on this, it came up with this as the actual result. So that's not what we're looking for. Maybe I can just do leash. Okay, yeah, so this works. We have leash, which is a thing. Let's see if this breaks things again. So thing, leash, add same as, and we have a, I assume this is the same. All right, and then we can hit save. Nothing broke, very good. So let's go ahead and end our Flask session to make sure that we're not using too many resources. And then we can take a look at the API result. So what this is going to do in our meta is include an SEO about and SEO mentions fields. And so now I'm going to be able to take each of these objects in the array. So this is an array, but this is going to have, should have had another one, thing leash. Oh, I didn't publish changes. And I go to the API, content, meta, don't need image. So we have about, which is the one about, and then we have two SEO mentions. So here we'll take a look at actually rendering these things. So where we want to render this though is not in like the actual like object itself. So we're not going to go to the article or anything. We're going to go to our add article schema that we already created. So we're going to come to our schema index and we have add article. And so I call this advanced SEO, but let's be honest, it's probably just vapor. But in here we have our article schema. So this is schema.org. And in blog posting, we should, in properties of creative work, we have about, and we also have mentions. So this tells us that this schema can be extended, though Google may not look at it. So again, take all of this with a grain of salt. Google may not care that you have about and mentions in your schema, but we're going to do it anyway. So we're going to have mentions and then about. And all of this is coming from the post. So we should be able to do post.meta.SEO mentions.map. And then we're going to do, for each mention, we're receiving an object. I think I'm doing this right. And for that object, if we go to mentions, we can actually see how this is done, maybe. We cannot. But that's fine, because what we have is going to be a type, which is going to be mention dot. Here we're just going to explicitly say the type if it would import correctly, which it did not. So import type entity SEO, which is actually wrong. Oh, that's right. It would have been fine if I did things right. So we have mention.type, and then we're going to have, so this is already the wrong thing, but we have name and then, so let's go ahead and I believe I need to get rid of these and do one of that, one of these. There we go. So now we have our type, and then I put these in the API, how they're supposed to be written. So let's take a look at that right quick, which is not there. So we have name, type, yes, okay, and then we can then do same as. We mentioned same as, but then we then again need to map and just bring in our link, which returns our source, which is actually going to be link dot source. Perfect. So all of that should look good, and then we should just be able to do the same thing here, where instead of mentions, we can do post meta. This needs to be about. We can do about, and then in here, type is going to be our about dot type. Name, about name, and then same as, about, same as map, link, link source. Great, so now I can save this. And then we're going to go to our localhost 3000. And then if I go to, I think this is going to be the wrong one. Future blog is the one that I actually want. No errors, that's always promising. And then we can inspect. And then if we look down in our schema scripts down here, that's a lot. So we'll do article, here we go. So now we have in here, let's not even try to look at this. Let's just go straight to the schema validator. And so we're going to take this code snippet and paste it in here and run test. So now we can see that there's the type of the article, the headline of the article, the image, when it was published and when it was modified. And then here, I just see author. So did I update the wrong future blog? Well, that should have worked. article. Oops. Okay. So I just had to refresh, it seems. Let's find the right one. There we go. That looks to be the appropriate size now. Now I can run a new test, do the code snippet, run test. So now if we go through here, we have the article body, and then we see that it mentions type dog or type thing, name dog food, and then the same as links that we did, and then it mentions again thing leash, and then it's about a puppy. So all of that looks good. We can also do our structured data validator, if I can remember which one it actually is. Structured data validator. And here I can still do it in the rich results test because it's recognizable schema. The only thing is that Google is not going to recognize it in its SERPs. So if I open up this, we can see mentions are shown here, so it's at least recognizable by search engines. And this is, again, in a perfect world, ideally, it's saying that this article is about dog food, or sorry, this article is about a puppy, and it mentions dog food and leashes. So logically, I guess it does make sense that search engines and large language models would look at that and say, well, yeah, I guess you're right. So I will mark these as that. And now I'm going to get my computer on the charger, if I can figure this out. One second. There we go. All good now. Cool. So that's that. Now we can go and look at our search plugin because that's enough of this. So we got that all done. And now we're going to go to our to-do list and get rid of that because that's done. Now let's mess with the search plugin. So, oops. This should be fun, where we're going to take the search plugin and we're going to install it. And then when this installs, we're going to have to go into our package.json. And I'm going to upgrade everything, I think, to 3.18 because I think that's as far as I've done it in my tutorials. So let's take all this 3.16, 3.18.0, replace all. I see payload. I don't see plugin search show up. Okay, that was weird. Then we can do PNPM I after we find the plugin. Any second now. Oh, I already had search installed. All right. Apparently it's been a day. Okay, so now we are up to date. We can run pnpm dev. And let's take a look at this. So we're going to go to our plugins in the payload config. And then in here, oh, there's another thing that I wanted to do before we get to this. Or maybe, I don't know yet. Let's take a look. We have Favicons, whatever. Here, I wanted to see if there was, yeah, generate using code. I should props. Yeah, because I want to work on getting our Favicon working that's not in our layout.txt, because I don't necessarily want to use the head here unless I have to, because I think the only thing I have in here is my icons and then an RSS. Oh, then the href, which this exists now, so I can do get server-side URL. Do I even have that in this? I don't remember making this for this project. Oh, I guess I did. Get URL. Yeah, we're okay. All right, and then we can do, what is it? Posts / feed. Let's make sure. Oh no, blog feed. Yeah, so let's change this to blog. Href. So what is this trying to tell me? So we can go to inspect, we can go to our head, and then we can see where's our links? Link canonical, okay. Link. Okay, so that's all right. I don't know what this is trying to tell me. So cannot resolve directory, but I see it live right there. All right, anyway. So maybe we don't do this quite yet. But let's just take a look. Returns. So I guess it needs an icon file. Generate, okay. In addition to using literal image files, you can programmatically generate icons using code. Generate an app icon by creating an icon or Apple icon route that default exports a function. Okay, so I should be able to use an API for this. So but do I want that? Oh, hey there. Just struggling through some things right now. I don't want my icon to be in the head tag here in my layout, because I don't think I've ever seen another project with layout with the head in it, but I could be wrong. Here, let's find our routing. I guess I don't need to do that. Let's just look up layout. So I'm in between right now. So I worked on some advanced SEO stuff. You can go back and watch that. And then I'm working on next part. I'm going to go to the search plugin, and then I'm going to try and build the project to make sure nothing fails. HTML. But right now, so I'm just kind of like taking a detour because the head tag here is bothering me. And I just want to see, because I don't think there's any, it just goes HTML then body. So I don't want the head tag to be here at all. But then also, I want to make sure that we can do both a light mode and dark mode. Favicon. Why is that so hard for me to say? All right, so let's take a look at our icons. So here we're going to, it looks like it's just in the app folder, which for us is here. So we can do a new TypeScript file and do icon.tsx, which it does it for me. And then we're going to import image response from NextOG. Export const size. We'll do the 32 by 32 here. And then we're going to, this is going to be an image / webp export default function. Function icon. Then here we'll return a new image response where we should be able to do image, I believe. So we'll need to, get out of here, Siri. Let's go ahead and end my server real quick. All right, export default async function. And then we're going to import get payload from payload, import config promise from payload config. And then here we'll do const globals set to, not quite, we're going to do const payload is equal to await dot get payload config promise. Oh, wait. Okay. Oh, let me do this too. Can do some soft wrapping here so it's more readable. I forgot that I set that up. Oh, excuse me. Feeling a little stuffy today, apparently. All right, and so in this, we'll then get our, we're going to get all of our globals. And we're going to do payload dot find global. We got our slug, which is going to be our global settings. We're going to select, though, I believe it's logos, which I'm doing this wrong. Logos to true. And this needs to be await. And so actually, one other thing that needs to happen is this actually needs to be get cached global. Do I need to do? All right, so what's this function doing? The slug, okay. So this needs to be, wait a second. How am I doing this elsewhere? So I know I'm getting this from, I'm gonna do me a search everywhere real quick and hopefully not expose any secrets. Because this should also be used in our schema, which it looks like it is. So let's go there. Oh, but it's not quite because I ended up moving it up a level. So if we search again, we can see how it's done elsewhere. Here's one, okay. Oh, let's just steal this. Okay. we got our globals, and now we're going to get our const light mode icon, and this is going to be an image. It's going to be media, actually. Media from payload types, and that's going to be set equal to our globals.logos.square logo. And just set it to as media. And then we'll do dark mode icon and do dark mode square as media. All right, so first we'll just start here with this image response, because I don't know if this is going to work, but we can do our, I forget what this environment variable is called. Give me 1 second. Environment variable, it's my Cloudflare bucket. Not that that's a secret by any means, but I'm not going to show you the rest of them. So now we'll do Cloudflare bucket and then light mode icon dot file name. Do process.env. And then we can do our light mode icon dot alt description, and then we'll set our own width 32 and our own height also to 32, and we'll do a non-null assertion there because it'll always have an alt description. So now this is the light mode version, so I should be able to delete that. Let's not fully delete it. And then spin up our server. All right, so we go back here. And let's take away the dark mode version 2. Cannot pass image to string on the server. Image response JSX element. So let's take a look at the image response API. At least I think so. Oh, okay. Well, so this tells me, if I had read the docs a little bit more closely, you cannot generate a favicon icon. Use icon or a favicon.ico file instead. And so icon is just a link . Yep, so you have to add your own image. And so I want to do it dynamically, and I can only do that apparently through the head tag here. So I wonder if I can still add a title. Directory. Here, let's wrap this too. Okay, well, it wasn't exactly a waste of time, but it wasn't the best time that I've had. So we have our global settings. So we're getting a couple of errors here, but they all work. I guess they're not even errors, it's just warnings, I suppose. But okay. So let's go ahead and delete this icon.tsx. That was a nice little diversion there. Now we can go over to the search plugin. So let's take a look at what we have here. So that's going to be not in layout, not in get globals, not in schema, not in social section. We do have this other component that we haven't looked at, which we will need to before we build, so we'll come back to it. But I have, at least I think I still have it. Oh, it's going to be an app component. And then it's going to be, I believe, in nav. Yeah, I have sticky banner. So this is a banner that sticks to the top of a page. But I think I'll still review it, but that's going to be for later. So let's go ahead and add that. It's going to have to be done before building. So we'll do to do fix up sticky banner. All right, so now keep me focused here. We're going to work on the search plugin. So now we can get rid of blog, converters, package.json, this component, this render blocks, sticky banner. I've got so much open. All right, so payload config is where we need to be. And then we're going to come down to our plugins, which I think I've already got the bare bones in. I do indeed. And so there's going to be a few things here that I think need to take place. So first, I don't think I have anything in search fields, and I don't think I have anything for before sync. So let's go ahead and stop our server, and we're going to uncomment all of this. Okay, so it's really just search fields that I don't have. I don't have a field overrides in a search. So collections, that means search is at the same level as collections. It is indeed. All right, field overrides. So I do have one. It just, I guess, wasn't receiving anything. All right, so that's promising. I'll walk through if that works, or even if it doesn't work, we'll walk through what just happened. But for now, we need a way to get the search to be done. So we created the plugin, great. So what that does for us right now is if I go to pnpm dev and log in, eventually, there's this search results collection that's been added. So I'm going to move this though, but so there's an error. Oh, let's do payload generate import map. And then also what we're going to do is search override. We're also going to do our admin group, not forms. We'll do it in admin. So that just moves where the search results fall. Oops, that was wrong. pnpm dev, reload again. All right. So now if we go back to our collections, we can now see search results is in here. It is a global. Now I can open up about, and that means that that's the about page, the portfolio page, and then our home. So that means that those are the only searchable pages right now. But if I go to pages, I have more than just that. And I want to include posts as well. So I should be able to here do collections, do posts and pages, if this works like every other plugin. So far, not so good. All right, so collections, we have posts and pages. Yeah, that's right. Before sync. So a lot of this I haven't seen yet, so I don't know if this was something that I copied over or is something that I wrote. I don't think I wrote this, but this before sync. I don't see any place to add other than, so it's got the categories, which is fine. That's what I want. Here, let's do payload generate types. PM dev. Oh, there's reindex up there. That's probably what I need to do. So what we're making is a, so this is just it's really just a sample project. So I want to use that as a boilerplate that I can use to clone for future projects. But what we're doing right now is just working with Payload CMS's search plugin. I just need to get this to a place that is deployable, and we're almost there. So right now, just working on getting our search results seen. So reindex all collections. There we go. Since I added a collection, now all of that's in there. So we can see columns. We should be able to see slug, categories, the meta, and all that stuff. So perfect. All right. So now we go back to our search plugin. Default priorities. I don't really care about that right now. We're already using the search overrides. We already grouped it into the admin, which is where I want it to be. So now we just need a way to serve it on the front end. So we're going to use that tab that I just closed. And we're going to go over to the website template. So this is where I go for any working example that I need. There's actually in here, not just the website, but I think it's in the plugins. No, sorry. There's templates, but then there's examples. And so you can see like live actual working examples of most of these things. So I don't see search here, but I do know that the website template does have search because we can see it right there. So we will go to our components, which should have search somewhere in here. If not, we can search. Not what I wanted. So I imagine this is going to be something in like the, oh, there's search. So we have our search component, which is using a few things here, which I think we actually already have written. So let's just copy this search component, which I already have. All right, so no errors there. Then we can do, we already have before sync and we have field overrides. So now we just need to put the component somewhere. Let's put it in the footer for now, just because. I need that for a different video. So we can take this one, localhost 3000. We'll take a shorter page, which contact is short. Okay, so now what we'll do is we'll add that component into our footer. Components, That is not the right components folder. So some of this is a project that I just carried over. I copy and pasted, so some of the naming doesn't really make sense. I try to update it as we go, but I can't get everything. So we're going to import our search from our search component. And then let's put it above the social media section. So we'll do our search. Is that all it needs? It gives me a nice little 404 there. Oh, it automatically brings it to search. So that's probably not what I'm looking for. Oh, it is. But if I search for okay, so for some reason the text is white, but interesting. Okay, so this is why we do this. All right, so that's not quite right. Let's go back to the template here because we're going to use this somewhere. And it's going to be used in our localization, websites, payload type, search component, search. So I wonder, do they have a page that's just search? Yes, they do. All right, so we'll do that too then. So we can come and do, though I would really like to have the ability to just have like a search icon. We can come back to that here in a second though. So if we go to pages, we can then go to this here where it's our pages group and do search. And then, like most good things, I'll just copy this because I don't think I need the page client. Nope. Okay. So we take search, we do a new TSX file, which will be called page. Hit add. And then, so a lot of this is Tailwind. And a lot of it we need to update. All right. So let's just get something working here. So we don't need our page client. We don't need our card. Get rid of page client. We got our search there. Perfect. Now if I hit save, all right, so now this could probably be our, we have a card. But we need to do posts.docs.map. We'll do post. And for each post, we'll do a card that takes post. And then we need a key, which is going to equal post dot Okay, so post is not quite right. Docs.map. Take post. So it's not post ID. No, it is post ID. Okay. Now what's its problem? What's it complaining about? Okay, so that returns everything. Hello. No results found. Okay, so then we can do future blog. Future blog. Okay. So then, of course, the card's not going to actually do anything for me because I think it's only taking... I don't know what it's taking, so very interesting. All right. Regardless, we see we have all of our posts there, which I don't think that's exactly what it's supposed to be doing, but it is what it's doing right now. So, but I can type in things and it does what it needs to do. So the search is kind of working. So if I go to payloadcms.com, well, they use, so there's this search here, which is Algolia. So they don't actually use that their own search plugin there, which is fine. They don't have to. But that means my search isn't going to be like a pop out unless I really truly design it like that. And that seems like a little bit more effort than it's worth. But what I can do here is instead of passing in this post, I can do title, post.title, post.description. So description, I guess, would just be meta description. Weird. And none of these get the description either. So if I go to card, this is not my card. It's Payload's card. Well, duh. Okay. Components. Try this again. Postcard, okay. And then we come down here. We'll just do as card so I don't have to replace something. Description is definitely not part of this. Then let's change this again to be our post. Invalid time value. Okay. Always something. So if I go to our posts, I'm not selecting everything, I assume. Yes, I'm not. So let's go ahead and get our updated at and our created at. Yep, there we go. Set that to true. Get rid of those. Payload generate types. See if this works. Does not seem like it. All right, so there's something going on with the dates within the card. General date, post date. So what just happens if I get rid of that for now? And so we also want to then include our image. All right, so we're getting links for everything. All right, so if we go to our posts, it's got a reload, of course. We go to our future blog. Oh, we have all of our meta. So I think then we need to add so doesn't card have an image in it? So set this there, image object, post content image, post content. Oh, so it's going to be content that I need up here in the select. So if I do content, set that to true, we should then receive everything we need. All right. Still general date format. Use general date. Then we can go to where we're returning. General. Oh, and format date. Show usages. And utils format date. Utils format date. It's good we're finding all these errors, right? Right? All right. Invalid time value. So I wonder if just something doesn't have a date attached to it. So let's go back to all of our posts. They all have dates. Do all of our pages have dates? No. So I think that's where the issue is coming in. So in that case, we can go back to our format date, and it's not this. We just need to do okay, no, it's not that. So general date. So we could do if general date All right. I don't understand. So let's go ahead and undo all of that. We'll come back to it. For now, we will just remove the date. Or, better yet, we can do post.date. See if this works. It does indeed. Perfect. All right, so we're still not getting any images. Let's see what we get if we open this up. We've got our cards with just a title. So what's really happening here is I'm trying to retrofit a component that doesn't really fit my project. So we're going to keep working on it, but this is saying that this needs to specify only known properties. Content doesn't exist on search select, which means that it's a config issue. But is it though? So we have, because I don't want to search on the field, but maybe I do. But honestly, I don't think I can. So thinking through how to get an image. So we could, just to test things out, make sure, well, we're not getting content though, that's the thing. So if I were to just do an image tag, and just to make my life easier, let's just do image. And then we can do source, because we're not going to get, well, I could do meta.image. I'm going to get a type error doing this, but that's okay. .image .file name. And then this will then be process.env.cloudflare bucket. There we go. All right, so one error. We need to add a key, but fine. We have all of the images there. But can I do content? Maybe it is just image. Okay, so we go here. And then we're going to go into our content, which has nothing. then our hero, which has something. So if we do our API, we have hero image. So there are a few things that we need to fix. So first things first. So if this is true, and then we can do, well, I'm only getting, oh, it's our collection of search. So then if we go to, let's look at our search results, API result. So this is, lost our music. So the only thing that's shared with everything is the meta image. Hold on. Cheap cables. There we go. All right, so what we do then is we leave it with meta. We come here, we do post.meta.image. File name. We can fix the type later, and we get all of our meta images. Of course, they're all the same because I'm not a very creative person. But now what we can do is change this to be an image object. Instead of source, we can just do that. And then image object, missing ID, updated it and created that, but those should be fine. All right, so those are back in. This needs to only show up though if post.meta.image and type of post.meta.image does not equal string. And then, so that should be good. And then down here, instead of card, we can just do, I don't even want to do an H1. We can just do a paragraph. And this needs to be wrapped, and we'll say a fragment, which means that this then needs to be wrapped in a pair of curly braces. Then here we can do our post.title. Let's do our soft wrap again. And now we see our title included. So what we'd have to do is create our own cards for this, which isn't the end of the world. It's not too difficult to do. If we were to just do it would be a main. So we can do a main and then do class name. Oh, not even a main. Let's do we have a grid. Which does a grid for me, which this is only, I think, yeah, so this is taking up just 2 of the cells that I have available to me. So that would be something that I have to address here, which can I do I have a class name in my, I do indeed. So we could do something like classes dot image, and then class name classes dot title. Then we can come come to our search page. And since I'm not using any Tailwind yet, I can just use a new style sheet and do index.module. And then we can do, what do I have? I have, well, first, let's import classes. That's not right. From there we go. Then we have our image and title. Image, title. Let's go ahead and put this over to the right half and do, so it's column span, I believe. No, column. So that's not right. It's shoot. Column. No, grid columns maybe? Grid column. Span. Sure. And then I do the same thing down here. Do grid, column, span 1. Sure, just to get us started. Oh, whoops. Okay, interesting. So let's do 3, and I've got 12, so we can just do maybe like 6 and 9, or 6 and 3 makes 9. That looks good-ish. Then we can do, I don't know if this actually will work like I want it to. It will not. But regardless, we're starting to see things. But the problem is that the grid is on the inside, so the grid needs to go outside of the map. So I can do grid there, grid, then a grid here. And then I think oh, I'm ruining everything here. So let's just bring you here. New. Control X. Control V. All right. Throwing myself off here. So we need to do our grid here, which then ends, no, that's actually not where we need to do our grid. We need to do it here. Which then that needs to close here. And then perfect, hopefully. Oh wait, I need to delete this other grid. Now it's grid inside of a grid. Delete that grid. Delete this grid. All right, I need to take a look at how this actually looks. So this needs to go away. So in this grid, we need post.docs.map. And then we do post. So I think then that means that this goes like this. All right, so I'm just trying to rewrite this out now instead of trying to like make it work. So we've got our post, which then opens up to be checking then if post dot get rid of this. So then we don't need this because we want to check post dot post dot meta dot image and type of post dot meta dot image dot type of and then we do our image object. We put there, which I believe we then need to add a key. Not quite. So now, all right, one other thing needs to change because this needs to have one specific parent element, which in our case is going to be a div. Okay. Think I ruined something again. All right, so we're back. So then we can do our div, not dib, div. And in this div, we will have our key, which will be our post.id. Then we'll do our image object, where we're going to check then post meta.image and type of all of that does not equal string. And then that's going to be our image object, like so. We'll take a look at this in just a second. But that should be right, and then we should be able to use our paragraph text here, which will do class name classes dot title, and then in our image object, hey there Jan, class name, oh it's already there, classes dot image. Okay. Oh wait. So that should not be a necessary question mark. Oh, does not equal string. There we go. So then all of this should be unnecessary. And then we need to close off our curly brace. Man, did I do all of that for essentially nothing? Yes, it looks like it. Let's see what happens. Unexpected div here. right, I'm starting to hit a dead end here. Only got a couple more minutes before I'm going to wrap this up. But if we do... Okay, that's right. And then we've got that closes there. That opens there. There we go. There it is. Interesting. Let's add our post.title. All right, so now it's taking up one cell each because the div is what I need to Can I do a fragment here? Yes, okay. So that's what I don't really want, actually, because that still doesn't wrap anything over. But actually, so let's go back here. There we go. All right. So if we were to do 3 and 3 or even 3 and 2, we'll leave it at 3 and 3. Oop, 3 and 3. Yeah, I don't love that, but we could do that, and then if I get rid of 3 on the title, can 3 fit? Is that what happened? Yeah. So it kind of can. It would wrap, but now yeah, wait, so let's just do so what I would like to do is have the paragraph show up at the bottom. So what we could do is change this fragment to a div, I believe. Nope, so let's leave this as a fragment and then add div in here. So then here we can do class name, classes. I have given up on names right now. So let's just do the div. We can do grid, column, span, 3, display, flex direction, column. So that's what I want. So now we have each of these. Then does this actually even need? It does not. All right. So now each cell takes 3. So 3, 6, 9, 12 takes up 3 rows of a grid of 12. And then it now will use its flex direction to make it into a column instead of a row. So then last step here, if we were to do, content container. which I think actually needs to come on the outside of grid. So wrap our grid in that. This should set the max width with some padding. Well, it does set the max width, but it does not do the padding, because that is done with our section container, which wraps all of that. There we go. So let's make sure that this works. Now, if I search for future blog, that's all I get. And so, of course, there's some spacing stuff around here that I need to work on. But overall, oh, there's no link for any of these either. So let's see. Can I do link instead of a fragment? See what happens. Okay. Do href. Do slug. Now the problem with this is that it's going to work for some things, but it's not going to work for blogs without doing some conditional rendering. So we will save that for another time. So we'll do, but just so I know where I'm going to be landing here, we can do our link href, and then really, you know, it shouldn't actually be that difficult if we do so here we can do I don't think I have the config coming in, or the type. So let's just, for right now, just return our post.slug. Oh, and then instead of div, I think this can just be our classes div. Get rid of our div here. Okay, great. That's a link. None of the links will work, but if we log posts, just want to take 0. Yeah, so it doesn't return the collection type. So let's see real quick. Do they address that collection archive? Well, this is pretty intense, so we'll come back to this. But if I look at this here, I see just one imported type. All right, so a few things need to happen then. Ooh, just hit myself in the ear and now I got a ring in. All right, so we will continue to work on this, but what we're going to do, search plugin collection slugs to link out to. And And then what we're going to do though now is, so we can get rid of search plugin, finish designing search page. And then I think we can fix up the sticky banner really quickly because I don't think there's going to be anything that really needs to be done. And then we can try building, and then we can call it quits as soon as I find nav sticky banner. So that's obviously wrong now. We have rich text, which is right. I don't need that though. So that shouldn't have broken anything there. And then index. That looks fine to me. And then here, that looks all good too. So now, just to show what this is doing, we can go over to our global settings. Then we can create a new sticky banner, test. This is a test banner. Okay, and if I hit save, we can come here. I need to add it then to my layout because it's going to be something that's on every page. Layout.tsx. Oh, hold on. Got to save my globals first. Now if I refresh, now I can see a test banner placeholder. That can go away. Now I see this is a test banner. We can close that. We refresh. It comes back because I don't have it taking from preferences or cookies or anything. It's just really simple. So lastly now, let's try to build this project and see what we need to work on. So build. And now we wait. Let's move my face out of the way here. All right, so it's because I don't have my pages set up. So that's in blog. You know, I should do this. All right, so this is needs to be posts. So what I could do is just take this template here. So not quite this, but replace this. And instead of not page template, well, it's still page template, but we're going to take this from our blog, not slug, just the blog page, which should be the index page. So that's just going to use a template to hopefully just let me bypass the next build problem. I don't want to set up pagination right now, especially since I just want to call it quits here in a minute, but type blog props, blog p, page.tsx. Okay, well, since I don't want to set this up right now, let's just delete this. I have an example of it elsewhere, so we'll be okay. Oh, I got so many things open now. So this fix up sticky banner, which we just did, we're trying to build blog pages, blog page.tsx. So now we have, this is the problem, params, promise, and then blog props. Do I even use params up here? I don't. All right, and so blog props then here needs to be this. So I can just copy all of this. Then we needed params, promise, wait, params, promise. And this doesn't even use params anyway. So I don't think I needed any of that. Let's try the next one. So here, try bunny out. Then to do pagination for blog posts. This is in media. This is why you don't just copy and paste a project unless you know it's going to work completely. So all of this was just one big refactor job, and it's been driving me crazy. So this isn't even used anywhere. Oh, it is. Okay. Try it again. Okay, rich text. We're making good progress, I think. Rich text. Lexical, which I don't think this is used anymore. Serialized lexical. It's only used in itself, so I should be able to get rid of that because I don't think I brought this anywhere. I believe it is all done separately, so let's go ahead and delete this. Okay. Rich text lexical index.module, which I think I just deleted. Rich text, no, lexical converters, okay. Converters, text converter. All right, so I gotta undo that real quick. just get rid of these. Move you to our rich text folder, refactor. Now get rid of lexical. Okay. Hopefully we're making it. We're not. Till types. We're kind of making it. We made it through all of our components. Don't need this here. So most of these aren't even used anymore. All of them probably aren't used anymore, but I'm going to keep the ones around. And so what I'm doing now is I'm just trying to get this to build, so if I were to deploy it, it would just go immediately. So now app utils type. This is where I'm at, right? Has no exported member rich text type. Oh, content with media. Okay. And then once I get through this list of things that need to be fixed, then we will wrap up. And then on the next one, we'll talk about more search plugin things, including designing the page, working on the collection slugs to work out, and all that. So color. This I know that work. I know this works. So client index. So I don't think I have this installed anymore. Can I do CMS, rich text lexical should have it. It does indeed. Let's see if the server has anything that needs to be adjusted. Nope. Okay. So try that again. And so here with how I'm troubleshooting this, like this would be happening if I were to try to put it onto Vercel. But so I don't have to deal with this if I were to deploy it. I'd rather just knock all of these errors out of the way instead of trying to send a bunch of builds to a DevOps site. So now it looks like we're generating sites. Our about page is having a hard time reading link type. So that's going to be in here. And it looks like where would link type be? Link type, okay. So anywhere that we have link type, we will, well, not in the nav though, because we know that that's working right now. Buttons, buttons. Those are types. Cards here, okay. And so it should be working in the footer as well. And then we have our CTA button. And that should be all good. So we'll try this again. We're only going to, I think if this fails again on our page builds, we'll just call it tonight. It's been almost 2 hours and I've gone for about 15 more minutes than I thought I was going to. So we will see how this goes. Assuming good things. Sending good thoughts. Good vibes only. We almost made it. And if you know me by now, that's not the end. Because we're making progress, and that's what's important. Internal link, internal link, internal link. Weird. So all of these internal links, except for this one here, has a question mark after it to check it. All right, so let's take a look real quick at PM dev. I'll do left half there, right half here. Go to our portfolio. Eventually. All right, so portfolio. Content. Okay, add button. Okay, so we won't include that button or that button or that button there. And we'll just make sure if we fail on the same page, we'll end it. But we'll see. So next steps after this, again, yes, the search plugin, make sure our collection slugs can link out. I think the search is going to be valuable. We'll finish designing it as well. We'll want to do pages for our blog posts. Right now we're working on building and checking for errors. If this continues, which it did, we'll also pick that up next week as well, because this shouldn't show up again. Oh, I hate this kind of stuff. All right, so we will try building and checking for errors. Internal link seems to be where we're getting caught up on. Reading internal link as undefined. Just disable buttons, perhaps. So we will try that out next time. So I'll be streaming again on Wednesday. But I am tired. I'm done. My brain is fried. I do have a new tutorial video coming out tomorrow where we continue talking about SEO topics with Payload CMS and NextJS using the SEO plugin. I'm working on custom component tutorials right now, so I'm excited to get those out. They're currently in writing. So we will, I'll get that out as quickly as possible. But this wasn't too bad of a stream. Yes, of course, we're ending kind of on a down note here, but at the end of the day, a couple of failed builds isn't going to ruin some good work. We talked about some advanced SEO topics with something that may or may not matter. We worked through a Favicon thing, trying to get that rendered through not the head tag, but that's fine. It's there. It works. It's in the layout. It's fine. And then with what else do we do? We got the search plugin working. It's roughly functional. We don't have links to it yet, so we'll do that on the next one, and we'll continue working through our build here. So make sure you're subscribed to my channel. Make sure that you see when I go live, when I release new videos. I'm talking about Tailwind CSS soon as well, so I'll be tying that into some of my projects. So if you enjoyed this, like it, share it with people, and until I hear from you, drop things in the comments. If you have suggestions, questions, anything like that, I'm happy to listen, to hear from you, and I'm honored to always have some comments on these live streams as well. But if I don't hear from y'all, I'll see you on Wednesday when I stream again. See y'all later.